Good evening, all. Is your evening good? It should show up in the face then. Good evening.
Good evening.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
So, I really thank NSL for inviting me once again for a talk on the subject mindfulness at workplace. Do you think it's important in the present time? Yeah? Yeah. Most of the companies have now started practicing or introducing mindfulness techniques in their offices, in their workplaces. Why? Because more and more life is becoming stressful, and this is a very beautiful technique to bring your attention in the moment. So, we will start with an activity. Before we get into the activity, I would like to tell you about the importance of today in the Brahma Kumaris. 25th August is a very important day, as it is the ascension day of our senior Dadi Prakashmani ji, who left her body some 17 years ago. Yeah, 17 years ago. She was the administrative head for 38 years, and she was the best example who you could watch and see and experience, or a living embodiment of, I could say, mindfulness. So as I was growing teenager, I had the opportunity of observing her life, and that's why I thought today's day, why the date was shifted earlier, it was some other day, but it is very apt because it had to match on her day. So today we celebrated her day, and the President of India today released a stamp in commemorating her day today. At 11 a.m. today, a stamp got released in her memories. So that is why a very important day. She was the best administrator I have ever met in my life so far, and a woman of true power and a woman of self-confidence. Many other qualities which going forward in the session I will help you understand how through her life I could learn and imbibe it in my own personal life, and my personal journey has really started from her blessings, I would say. She was truly an inspiration to all of us, and many other sisters. Some thousands of brothers and sisters are dedicatedly as full-timers giving their their life and breath for the organization, and that's all credit goes to her. So today is a very important day for us. Now we will start with one activity. You have to give yourself a rating. Activity? Okay. One activity, you have to give yourself rating as to how mindful you think you are at the moment, between 1 to 10. How much you are in the moment. Give yourself a number. Check yourself properly. Are you fully here? Do you think with your mind, your body, your thoughts? Yes? Give yourself a number between 1 to 10. Ready? Were you able to give? Yes or no? Yes, we all know how much we are in the moment, right? So it is really, really important to be in the moment. Otherwise, being in the moment is called being in the present. And present is always a gift. Otherwise, we miss out all the beautiful things which life has to offer being in the moment. Before I get into the subject, one experience of mine with Dadi Prakashmani I would like to start with. I happened to be with her on stage. A very big program, an event was going on. Some thousands of people showed up, and I was translating for her. The other speakers were speaking in Telugu, and I had to translate it to her in Hindi. So I was sitting next to her, and then in between the stage program, the message came that where she had to stay, her room got shifted meanwhile to another floor in the same building. So I was asked, I was given a slip and asked to inform her if she is okay with that little change. Earlier, where she was staying, her luggage was put up in one room and one setup was nicely done for her, but something went wrong and it had to be changed. So that message had to be conveyed to her. So when I was given that slip, I went close to her to inform her that this is the little change after the program. You will not be guided to the similar room. You are moved to another room upstairs in the same complex. She very nicely looked at me and she said, do you think sitting here I will think where I'm going to stay tonight? So it's okay, you informed, you've done your duty, but I am not buying this thought at the moment. I'll park it for after I finish my stage program. So it was very revealing for me that she was the administrative head of some thousands of centers in those days, and her mind could have been here and there, her mind could have been drifting in different directions, and one news also popped up in between. But she was so focused what the other speakers were conveying. She was so focused in listening to what they were about to say that this distraction didn't bother her at all. She didn't give it a second thought also. She said, we'll look into it when I go off the stage. When I'm getting off the stage, only then I will go and see, and then we'll decide what needs to be done. So that is called living in the moment. She's not worried. Whereas I was looking at myself, if I was given that message, thoda to I would have thought ki where kaisa rahega, is it going to be comfortable enough, because she was also somewhere around 70 plus in those days. So no second thought at all. So that was the very first lesson which I learned as a growing teenager from her, that how much it is important to be in the moment. And then her message also on that day was so apt. After listening to all the speakers, she could connect the dots where they left, and very beautifully she gave her talk based on what concerns or whatever they had to share. So that's the beauty of being mindful. So firstly, we will understand the definition of what is called mindfulness. Yes, brother. Mindfulness at workplace. What does it mean? Mindfulness in the workplace refers to the practice of being fully present. When I'm here, I'm totally here. When I'm in this session, I'm totally in this session and engaged in the present moment while at work. Engaged in the present moment, but hands are doing its job. Mind is fully aware over here. Hands could be doing its routine job work. It involves cultivating a state of awareness, attention, and focus on the task. We sometimes do the work, but we are not 100% focused on that task, and that's where the problem starts. Lack of focus is a big issue going on in most of the corporates now. Focus on task, interactions, and on our surroundings. Mainly where the focus is lacking is focus towards the work, towards the task, or while we are interacting, we are not listening properly. Many people have been facing this issue of late, that people are not able to get what I am trying to convey. Am I right? How many of you feel that you are very good listeners, effective listeners, or the other side, whom you are constantly into interaction with, they are very good listeners? How many of you can say it? I would like to see hands. No. So I'm sure this session is for you today. And yes, in our surroundings also, there's so much beauty at times which we are missing out just because we are not in the present. We're so much engaged in our work that sometimes there's a nice music being played, but I am so engaged mentally. Sometimes I am having the best of best food, but I'm so engaged mentally that I'm not able to enjoy the taste of that food also. Maybe it would be the great taste-wise, but since I am so much occupied in my head, I'm not enjoying it. I'm just eating it, just eating it. So going forward, we will understand the mindfulness has gained significant attention in recent years as a tool for reducing stress levels. It is a very good tool which we will explore going forward, how it helps in reducing stress, enhancing your productivity and promoting overall well-being in work environments. This is the benefits of mindfulness at work. Next. So, now we'll come to the benefits part. Then we'll practice it also together. It reduces stress. Mindfulness practice such as deep breathing and meditation. So it's important to have deep breathing in between, like I have for myself some alarm fixed. Every 1 hour a music will play in my whole premises where I stay, and that gives me a signal that I have to pause for a moment, where I will practice deep breathing and my meditation. Of course, meditation we will have some sessions in between, but yes, it's very, very important to bring your awareness or your mind, which is drifting here and there all the time, into the now, so that you can know what is really, really required in the now. Just because we are always here and there, we do not know what is required actually in the present moment. We miss out that. So deep meditation breathing exercises can help employees manage stress and anxiety. I've been practicing it for a very long time, and I can see that it helps in calming down or slowing down your thoughts. Deep breathing exercise. By staying focused in the present moment, individuals can reduce rumination. Rumination is repetitive thoughts. Thinking again and again and again about something is called rumination. So this technique of deep breathing and meditation can help you reduce rumination about or overthinking about your past events or worries about the future, leading to a calmer and more focused life. Most of the time, either we are overthinking about our past or worrying about our future. Am I right? Most of the time, right? So this technique of deep breathing and meditation helps you come into the now. Can we have that 1 minute meditation? Yeah. So now we will experience what deep breathing is all about and how we can bring our awareness in the now. A beautiful 1 minute commentary, guided meditation will be played. All you have to do is just sit back, relax, and try to focus on the thoughts given to you and see how it feels. Okay? Firstly, before we start with the commentary, we will do some breathing exercise, deep breathing. So I will guide you. I will give you some thoughts. You can do it accordingly. So just relax your body, sitting comfortably. Take a deep breath and release all the tension in the body. I breathe in and I release all the stress, stiffness in the body. As I do it again, I feel the relaxation in all the muscles of my body. Deep breathing helps in pumping oxygen to my brain and gives fresh air to the lungs. I breathe once again and I let go of all the tension in the body.
body to relax, gently releasing any areas of tension, focusing my attention on the center of my forehead. I take a moment to look at the screen of my mind. The speed of my thoughts begins to slow down until my mind is quiet and still. My body and mind relaxed. I once again become aware of my surroundings.
So it takes 1 minute to relax. How do you feel? Yes? Yeah? Better? Yes? Calmer? Yes. So in the Brahma Kumaris, there is a concept called traffic control, which we practice every day. In this traffic control, we take 1 minute break in every 1 hour. In all our branches worldwide, there is this practice of 1 minute traffic control, which means there is a lot of traffic of the thoughts going on throughout the day. We are busy doing our routine works, running around, doing our routine, but it's important to take a mental break in between. So that has helped us to increase our productivity and again bring our awareness in the moment and to steer our thoughts also. Sometimes the thoughts are running in a very, depleting way or in a draining way or in a repetitive way also. That pattern is going on. So this 1 minute silence gives a break to that running of the thoughts and helps you to stay centered. Okay? So we'll explore what it means going forward to stay centered. How can we actually stay centered amongst when everything around you is like in a big, chaotic situation also, it's possible to stay centered. How? We will explore. So coming to the subject, improved focus and concentration. This 1 minute brings your awareness back over here, and then mindfulness can enhance an individual's ability to concentrate on a task and maintain their attention despite potential distractions. Even though the mobiles are ringing, the notifications are popping up or people are distracting in between, it is still possible with these routine. If you maintain it with consistency, it's still possible that you can stay focused and have a good concentration level despite potential distractions. This can lead to increased productivity and better quality of life. The more you are focused, the more your concentration level is high, you feel the quality of life. You feel that you are leading a life of meaning and some purpose, right? So going forward into the subject, again the next benefit of mindfulness is enhanced decision making. Whenever we have some important meetings or crucial decisions to be taken in life, what we do is go 1 minute into silence. What you practice just now, bring the awareness into the moment, relax your body, relax your mind, and see on the screen of your mind how your thoughts are running, and then come back, rejuvenated. So this 1 minute silence helps you to bring your attention in that particular important meeting, and as a result of that, we have noticed, where we have taken this 1 minute of silence, even though we were running short of time, we were late for the meeting, this 1 minute has helped us to bring our focus here and create an environment in the hall also. In this 1 minute we radiate peace, we radiate all the beautiful vibrations of receptivity, of concentration, whatever is required in that particular meeting, we radiate with our thoughts. You know, you all might have heard that thoughts carry energy. When I say love, I am radiating that energy into the room. When I say peace, I am radiating that energy into the room. So whatever I am thinking in this 1 minute before I start my meeting, I am radiating that energy. So the result of that is more receptivity from the other side and better decision making from my side. You know, that happens. Then enhanced decision making and better communication. Mindful communication involves active listening and responding with full attention. Most of the time we are listening to people to respond, not to listen first. You know, half the time we don't listen completely and we are in a hurry to respond. That's where the communications are failing in the present scenario, and this can lead to improved workplace relations, reduce misunderstandings. Due to not effective communication, there are a lot of misunderstandings in this world also going on, and this is the best tool, and more effective collaborations can happen when we become attentive in listening also. So a consistent practice, again I would say the key word is consistent practice of one minute of mental breaks. Withdrawing from whatever you are doing, like a tortoise. I'll give you an example. A tortoise will use its limbs when required to move around for survival, for food. But after once it is done with its eating part and moving around for survival, it withdraws. It takes some time to go into the shell. So meditation is that technique of detaching yourself from your external world and taking your awareness to your inner world. And we will come to the subject, what inner world and where to look at when we say inner world. We'll get into that going forward. Coming to the next benefit is emotional regulation. Mindfulness helps individuals become more aware of their emotions. What I am going through in my own, awareness, or in my own inner world, how I am feeling. It helps you to acknowledge that feeling first. Before you work towards it, it is first important to acknowledge that feeling. So it helps individuals become more aware of their emotions without being overwhelmed by them. This can lead to better emotional regulation and reducing the likelihood of impulsive reactions, sudden reactions which we give. There will be less sudden reactions which will lead to stressful situations. How many of you feel that we are impulsive in our reactions? Yes? We take jaldi wala mamla. Jaldi we decide, and we, rather than slowly process the information and then respond, we react quickly. Yes? That doesn't mean those who are not raising their hands are not experiencing it. Am I right? Yes? Most of the time we are all into that phase of impulsive reactions. But meditation or these mindful techniques which we are going to learn today helps you to reduce these impulsive reactions, and as a result of it, no regrets. Whatever you do in the moment out of just impulsive reaction, then later on sometimes we regret, but by then the damage which has to be happened is already done, right? So that can be avoided through these techniques. Okay. Next, and reduce burnouts. This is a big issue faced in most of the corporates, that over doing your routine works or working late hours, many people are experiencing burnouts, which means they have no energy left to do any simple task also. Simple task also seems to be too big for them, right? So many employees, I don't have the correct information of the percentage, but I can say many, whomever I have been interacting so far in different corporates, most of them come back telling that they are of late experiencing burnouts, which means no power or not feeling that enthusiasm to take up new things. So this techniques can help you overcome burnouts also. It encourages individuals to take breaks and prioritize their well-being also. This 1 minute break is for your well-being. So it will be like a blessing you can give to yourself. So, and it's worth it. Sometimes people say, no, I can't take that 1 minute out of my busy schedule. Do you drink water? Yeah? Everybody, I'm sure. How many times? 6, 7 times. That's the normal range of glasses we take. So once when again our Dadi Prakashmani, whose day we are celebrating, so one very big industrialist, he was meeting her and she was explaining him that it's important to take these 1 minute mental breaks, and he was telling, no Dadi, you don't know my schedule, it's so packed, I'm always with people around me, and what you are talking is for people like you, it's not for people like me. And I was sitting next to her observing what's going on in the conversation. Again a big learning came there. Very nicely she smiled at him and said, do you drink water? He said, what sort of a question is this? And he said, yes, of course, who doesn't drink water? So she said, how many times? 7 to 8 times in a day. Okay, when you are drinking water, the hand has to do its job. Mind doesn't need too much of your engagement of your mind in that process. Am I right? So she said, during that time, engage your mind in productive thinking. That's where you can take this mental break. Even though you are too much busy in your doing, come back to the being, who you are. Remind yourself that you are this beautiful being seated in the center of your forehead. That is the innate self. What you are seeing is your acquired self, which means your roles, your responsibilities. You are too much caught up with your acquired self. If you don't give time to your innate self, you can't improve that innate self, and quality living you can never ever experience. Sooner or later you will experience burnouts. So to avoid that, you start this practice. I don't know whether he started or not. From that day onwards, it went into my head that whenever I take a glass of water, I remind myself that today I am a peaceful being, or today I am a patient being, today I am an understanding being, today I am a cooperative being. So such kind of beautiful affirmations on a repeated basis given in the day. Let us say if I give myself these thoughts, in 24 hours minus the 8 hours of sleep, let us say some 15 hours also in one minute in between, that is 15 minutes repeatedly. If I tune my mind in this thought process that today I am going to be peaceful, I will see how peace translates, or I am going to be patient, I will see how patience works, whether it works or not, I will experiment and see for myself. So these beautiful affirmations, you can give yourself anything, this is my personal thing, but any affirmation which you like, yes, I can do it, I have the enough strength to do it, I have the enough energy, or I have the enough information and I will do it. Let us say this is your affirmation. Give yourself in every 1 hour whilst you're drinking that water. So that makes a very big difference. From that day onwards, I started practicing this, and it's been more than 20-25 years now of this practice, and I have seen that the focus of the mind is always in the present. It has helped me and to own these values also, and to make these affirmations work for yourself also. It has really helped me. So coming back to the subject, it helps in cultivating resilience. Mindfulness can contribute to the development of psychological resilience, enabling employees to bounce back from setbacks and challenges more effectively. How quickly do you come back after a challenge? That's where these mindful techniques help you. So now I have seen before and after practicing these sort of mindful techniques, I can see that earlier version of me used to get caught up with challenges for a very long time. Coming out of it, even though it's all over, it would take a while for me to come back to the normal position. But now I see slowly, as I was practicing for a very long time, I can say, the hours reduced. Earlier, that problem or issue used to go on in my head for days together. But slowly I could see it reduced to some hours. And now I can tell you with lot of experience backed, it has reduced to some minutes. Very minimum time I give to any issue, and most of the time how I can fix it or what I can do to look away out of it. That is where my attention goes very naturally now. Rather than being caught up that why this happened, or they shouldn't be doing like that, or their behavior bothering me too much, now it has stopped. No matter what is falling apart around me, I am still okay with it. So that's how it translates, or that's how it manifests. So a consistent practice, again, I would say, is the key to again come back from challenging situations very easily. And leadership and team building. Mindful leaders tend to be more empathetic towards others, how they feel, from which place they are coming. It is like putting their foot in their shoes and understanding, and open to different perspectives. This can foster to positive work culture and enhance team dynamics and improve employee morale. When I take time to understand where the other person is coming from, it makes a very big difference. That helps in connecting well with people also. Most of the time we do not think from the other side. We are so occupied by what I have to present, and my idea has to be executed the way I like it. Maybe that is not the way. But mindfulness again helps you to press that pause button of the mind, to give it a try, to understand from the other side. They might be having a perspective, but sometimes I'm not in a mood to listen to it. I'm so occupied in my head. So again, this techniques will give you those spaces in between. Meditation is like creating spaces in between where you will allow your energy to breathe and bring it in the moment, and then translate it into productive ways. That is precisely what meditation we practice in the Brahma Kumaris. So next we will understand 1 minute. How you can start is, start your day with 1 minute of silence. What time do you all report to the office every morning? 9:30? Okay. So I would say that when you come tomorrow morning, when you sit on your desk, most of you sit and work, right? Yeah? Anybody who has all the time moving around job? No, everybody has to sit and work. Yeah. So when you sit on your desk, take a minute of silence before you start. And in this silence, I can give you a link of the commentary which we played. We have several such 1 minute commentaries. So you can select for yourself. Whichever suits you, you can select and play that 1 minute and then start your day. Are you ready for it? A new practice? Are you ready? Don't start it as soon as you come. Give your workplace also, create an environment first so that you are ready to give your best for the day, right? Most of the times we are running late, we have a bad traffic, and then your 100 thoughts are running. I have so many things to attend. Then you open your system with so many mails in your inbox to be replied, and then your boss calls you, another stressful thought process starts that added to the existing things. So many things start running in your head as soon as you sit on your desk. So before you get into the being or the doing part, first start with the being part. Who am I? Remind yourself that I am not the roles and the responsibilities and the person who I look at in the mirror. I am this peaceful being of light. In this 1 minute commentaries, you will get lot of information about how to focus your thoughts on the real innate self. One is our acquired self and one is our innate self. We will learn more on that going forward. Second thing, I would like you to try it out. Eat slowly and watchfully. How many of you eat fast? How much time does it take, brother, for you to finish? Huh? Less than? Less than 5 minutes. Oh my God. Yes. So these days it's become very normal also to eat quickly because we do not have time. But it's very, very important to look after your the way you are eating also, not what you are eating, the way you are eating also. Most of the time we are just eating and the system is on and you are checking some mails meanwhile, or you are into some meetings also at times, your cameras are closed and you are eating. So mind is half there, half here, and another phone call is coming, you are meanwhile attending that also, and we expect our good health. It can never work out. The best way to eat is in silence. If you have people around you, okay, you have to interact, but at least make sure you see what you are eating. And be slow and be mindful, which means enjoy the taste of your food. Chew it properly. That you might have heard since your childhood, your parents might have told you that it's important to chew it several times so that your digestive system is less burdened with that activity and body runs well. So from today, just try it out to be a little slow, brother. Maybe 5 minutes, so take 7 minutes to start. Then you slowly come to 10 minutes. It's important for your physical well-being, I will say, because this quick there is a very beautiful saying which says that you are what you eat and you are how you eat also. If you are all the time running around, your mind is also so much actively involved, you tend to eat quicker also. So when you slow down while you are eating, mind is also coming down or calming down, and your mind is also focused on what you are eating. Sometimes we overeat also. Why? Because we were not watching what we were eating. We have some people at our place who have these complaints that they didn't understand because they were not watching at all what was there in their plate. Somebody poured a lot of rice into their plate and they happily finished it, not realizing also that they are overeating more than what is required. If you slowly eat, you will definitely tend to eat less than what you were eating when you were eating fast. Definitely, that much I can assure you. And then when you eat less, you have space for more eating in different short intervals. So it's very much important to slow down at least one time when you are eating. Most of the time you can run around, actively do your or engage in your routine work, but it's very important to slow down. So try it out for 1 month. If it works, you continue, otherwise you have your old habit with you. And then listening carefully. Like I told you, adopt this habit from today, that before I respond to somebody, I will listen patiently. A little patience, this virtue is required, that today decide for yourself as you begin your day. The first thought when you get up from your bed, create this one thought that today I will try to listen to people properly with patience. I will not be in a hurry, because most of the wrong decisions or big relations are also getting spoiled. Why? Because we are not listening to each other properly, right? Be it at your home or be it at your workplace, most of the problems are happening because of no proper listening in relationships. If you really value your relations, you will start it from today. Decide. It's just a thought away that I will listen. Today I'll be a good listener. then you see how your responses will be. You will be surprised to see, or you will be taken aback to see that your responses are different now. Because you have decided, you have consciously created a thought, you will observe definitely that your responses are different now. Your responses are more of concerned about them, or more of what is their perspective, trying to understand, trying to be more receptive. That sort of response will also be in a different fashion now, not in a hurry. Okay? Coming to, yes, this is what I was talking. You can Google and see justaminute.com. You will find these 1 minute commentaries. It's advisable to sit on your desk every morning, plug in to these 1 minute commentaries, and then start your day. Then you see and observe and acknowledge also, not just playing and then doing whatever you want. Observe how your day passes by. Okay? So these 4 things. Can you immediately start from today? Yes? That would be the returns for this session. Rather than that, we don't expect anything much from any of our sessions. Just that you try it out and see how it works. Okay? Then, in these 1 minute silence, what we do is we shift our awareness from our outer world to the inner world. Yeah? Inner world is the self. By self, I mean the real innate self. Yeah? Some brothers have applied tilak over here. Like last time, who all have attended my session last time? Yeah, quite a few of you. So last time I explained that the real self, or the innate self, inner self what we call, is the soul within this framework of body. So in this 1 minute silence, we detach from our outer world to the inner world, visualizing that I am a tiny point of light, tinier than the tip of a needle, like a small star-like entity seated over here. Actually, the culture of applying the tilak also started with this very meaning, that the true self is seated here, the real self, the I which we call. Throughout the day, we use this word I and my a great deal, right? Right? When we say my table, my chair, my house, what do we call, or what do we refer to when we say our bodies? Yeah? For our body, what is the reference we use? My body, right? We don't say I body. Am I right? Yeah, think about it. Never you have heard I body. We say my body. Like we say my chair, my table, my office, my house, my children, my spouse, we say my body. It is one of the objects or the people around you. It is also like that only. That is why the same terminology is being used. Then the bigger question is, if this is my body, this is not I body, then who am I? I is the soul within the body. And when this I is there in my, we are called living beings or human beings. Okay? Human is arrived from a Latin word called humus, which means flesh and bones. Okay? So within this structure of flesh and bones, which we call my, there is an I, which adds value to this my. Only when there is a soul within this framework of body, you are alive. Once the soul leaves the body, you are declared dead. Even though the my is there, I has left the body, my doesn't function at all. Right? The body without the soul is declared dead. It cannot move an inch also. Right? So what was making it move, or what was making it function? Or the driving force behind this my body was the I. So I is of great value within this my body. I say my head aching, right? I don't use the term I head aching for the body. I say my leg paining. I don't use the word I leg paining. So I is definitely separate from my, right? It is not one and the same. Soul is separate from the body, like the car is separate from the driver. Am I right? Even though the driver is using the car throughout the day, doing all the work with the combination of the car, it is getting things done, but end of the day the driver is driver and the car is car, right? Similarly, the soul will remain the most priority thing in the body, and the body is like the vehicle or the instrument which the soul is using, which I explained in detail in my previous session. But in meditation we detach or we bring our attention from my to I, which is like, the diamond in the box. This is like a diamond, the body, and the soul is like the diamond within this framework. Make sense? Yeah? So I'm bringing my attention there, which means focusing my thoughts here. When I meditate, I withdraw or I detach from all my external roles, responsibilities, my outer world of relations, of different things, objects, and I detach for a moment and I go within, which means I realize the real I. Okay? And that's where the power lies. This is giving power to the body. Then only these eyes are able to see, the ears are able to listen to, the mouth is able to talk, and the hands and legs are able to move this way, that way. Once this I leaves this body, even though I have hands, I can't move it this way, that way. So this I is giving energy to this mind to run the show. The entire show is being run by the soul actually. We think that we as bodies are moving and doing things, and that is the misconcept actually, not properly understood concept. So meditation helps you come back to the true self. In the picture you can see that between the forehead, behind the two eyes, which means if you draw a line, a perpendicular line from the center of your head, the soul resides right in front of your brain to control all the sense organs. That is the best seat. Just like the driver has to sit in the particular seat, yeah? He can't sit anywhere and drive, am I right? So he has to sit because the control panels are available there. Likewise, the soul also, the perfect seat is here where we apply the tilak. So this soul, go forward. The innate self is called the spirit or the Atma in Hindi, or it can be called the essence. It is the most essential stage, or it can be called of great value, which is adding value to the body. Once the soul leaves, nobody wants to keep your body, nobody wants to touch your body also. Why? Nobody wants to go closer to a dead body. Why? It loses its value once the soul leaves the body. So something which is of great value is the soul within the body. So it is made up of these three subtle organs, which is the mind, the intellect, and your personality traits or your habits. The soul has three subtle organs. Last time we discussed in detail. I'll just quickly run you through. It has the subtle organ called mind, which is separate from your brain. Brain is physical. Think about it. Mind is subtle. It's not visible with these eyes. But mind is the thinking faculty of the soul. That's where the thoughts are generated, right? Intellect filters those thoughts for you. This is right, this is wrong, this you should be doing, this you should not be doing. Intellect has the job of filtering those thoughts. That is why we call ourselves as intellectuals. And then based on your thoughts, your intellect gives the judgment. Go to that picture. Whatever thoughts is generated in the mind, based on that the intellect gives the judgment, and then it becomes your sanskar. Whatever actions repeatedly you do becomes your habits, personality traits, your nature or your sanskar, right? Sanskaras are also of two types. One is innate and one is acquired. Innate is something which the soul is carrying forward from previous birth, right? What we carry from our past birth, this soul when it enters this body, it carries sanskaras or personality traits. And when it leaves this body also, whatever is my habits, my nature, good or bad, it carries forward to the next birth. So we have to be very careful about our habits, our sanskaras. Based on that, the next birth is also decided. That is the power of sanskar. So coming to the innate self, it is the most essential part. And coming to the acquired self, which we are all aware of, our ego, our role, our image, the way we look is our acquired self. The possessions, the things, the house, the properties you have, the skills you have again comes under the acquired self. You didn't bring those skills along with you, you acquired. Then bodily relationships, the position you are into now, in whichever position in the company or at your home, the achievements and your beliefs is all your acquired self. So when I say I meditate, I go within and visualize the innate self. I see that essential, powerful self, which is peaceful by nature. This essential self has 7 beautiful qualities which are very true to it or core to it, right? By going here or visualizing that you are a soul, what are you going to gain? Let us see why you need to do this. The original qualities of our innate being are knowledge, purity, love, peace, bliss, power and happiness, right? This is why this is loved by all individuals, all these 7 qualities. Am I right? Who doesn't like to be loved over here? Anybody? Or who doesn't like to be peaceful or blissful or powerful or happy? Everybody likes, right? But the problem is, even though we all love it, we like it, we crave for it, forgetting the fact that I, the being of light, the real innate self, is made up of that. So it's important in day to revisit the innate self, because that's where these 7 treasures, I call it treasures. Why? Because they are priceless. No money can buy these things also for you. Am I right? So these priceless treasures which are very true to the self, which we have not understood properly or not realized properly, has to be taken care of. So meditation is going back to the real self, the I, and experiencing all these true or core values of the self. When I start looking at myself as a soul, very naturally you will see, you will start experiencing peace, because that is the truth about the soul. Very naturally you will be feeling loved, or the feeling of loneliness is gone. These days, why? Because we have forgotten our true self, we start asking all these 7 things from the outside world. That is the scenario now. People have become beggars, like you give me respect, you give me love, you give me happiness. This is like a royal form of begging. Agree? Yes? Agree with me? Yes. It is happening. Why? Because we are not realizing that I am made up of this. So today we will take a moment to realize the real I and see how it feels, so that you can replicate this practice as and when possible, and see how your awareness, your attention comes into the now and how it gets translated. Go forward. So when I connect the soul, which is now very, very in a discharged stage, when I connect it with the higher soul, which is also a point of light, the source of all energy. Of course, the soul is made up of these 7 qualities, but now the energy of the soul is depleted. Why? Because it comes into the cycle of birth and death constantly. That's the reason energy flows from a higher level to a lower level. That's what we have learnt in science, right? So the discharged soul gets charged when connected with the Supreme Soul. We visualize that this light over here is connected with a light above there in our meditation, and then it gets charged from this energy from the Supreme, which is constantly charged. Why do we have to connect to the Supreme? Because there is no energy crisis. The Supreme Soul or God, with whatever name you call, doesn't come into the cycle of birth and death. That is why there is no depletion of energy. So why now meditation has become very important is we are feeling that drained out feeling in the soul. That is why we need to connect to the Supreme Soul. And who is that Supreme Soul? The ocean of knowledge, the ocean of purity, ocean of peace, love, happiness, bliss, and all the powers lies there. So wherever you find what is missing, you have to go and take it from there, right? Whatever is missing in your house, some grains, you go to the supermarket where you will get it in abundance. Likewise in meditation, if I am missing happiness in life, I connect to the source of happiness. If I am missing love in my life, I connect to the ocean of love. That is how we do it. Yes? So 7 virtues have a direct connection with each body parts. Why you have to connect to the soul? When you realize you are a soul, these 7 qualities come alive, and knowledge is connected with neuro system or the brain. By virtue or by quality, the soul is knowledgeable. So the more you experience being in soul consciousness, you are activating your brain. Then bliss, आनंद जिसको हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं, has a direct connection with your endocrine system, which means your hormones. So when we experience being in soul consciousness, the blissful state naturally emerges. So then it helps in hormone balance. And peace has a direct connect with your ENT system. The more you experience the inner peace within the soul, all your ENT problems, it is all proven now scientifically how you can actually, with the help of meditation, heal your body also. ENT problems can be sorted. And then love has a direct connection with your heart or cardiovascular system. Purity has a connection with your circular system, and happiness with your digestive system. When you are happy, most of the time you have noticed that when you are happy, your digestion is going on very well. Am I right? And when you are sad, no matter best food you are eating, you won't be able to digest it properly, right? And power has a direct connection with your skeletal system, that is muscles and bones. So this reason why you have to experience the true self, all these 7 core qualities of the self comes into experience or comes into practical use also, right? So next. So 1 minute we will take in silence. What all we were talking, we will capture it and see if we can focus for a minute. I will give you some thoughts. If possible, try to keep your eyes open. You can rest it on this light over here. If you close it, I'm very sure you will go to sleep. That's the reason, because you had a big long day of working, I know, and this is a stretch of your working hours, that also I know. So I don't want you to fall asleep. I want you to experience something in this 1 minute. For a few minutes, I bring my attention from my outer world, the world of roles and responsibilities, to my inner world. I focus my thoughts in the center of my forehead. I visualize a tiny point of light right in between the two eyebrows. This is the real I, the soul. This body is my instrument, which I, the soul, use throughout the day. I now realize that I, the soul, I am separate from this costume of mine called body. I am the master of my senses. My eyes, ears, nose, mouth, hands and legs. They all belong to me. Today, I, the soul, I have a friendly talk with my senses. I thank them for their tireless services. I express my gratitude towards my sense organs. I am separate from mine. I am not the roles I am playing. I am not what I look at externally, or who I am with the titles I hold. I am beyond all the labels which I have acquired. I am a peaceful, pure, blissful, knowledgeable, powerful being of light. These are my treasures, forgotten ones. Today, I look at my treasure store for the very first time, and I realize that whenever required, I can come back to this tranquil place and recharge myself. I experience the true inner peace, the purity of the soul. Even though the world has taken away the purity from me, but originally I am a pure soul, a happy soul, a blissful soul, a powerful soul. Slowly and gently, I come back to my awareness of the external world, bringing back with me the experience of true inner treasures.